This week is the Hungarian GP, the last GP before the summer break, and we are exactly halfway through the season and the regulations are being debated still. Spa was so bad for the current regulation cars, and there were talks about how cars are now entirely dependent on algorithm and software, and the deployment is all AI generated almost. Will Hungaroring be any different than Spa or Silverstone? What is special about Hungaroring in the first place? What are the teams bringing in upgrades? What are my predictions for Hungarian GP? Let's discuss all of that in this video. Welcome to the Hungarian GP weekend preview. Hello everyone, Anderson here. Welcome back to the channel. I know today a lot of wind and I am outside. I'm actually in my hometown for a family function and festival, so please don't mind the background. Okay. Last week at Spa opened a massive can of worms. We had massive deployment issues from some drivers in lap 1 and throughout the race. The postmortem of the race revealed some really weird quirks about the modern day Formula 1 car. One of the biggest revelations were the software glitches that made Russell drop back multiple places in lap 1 at Spa. While the biggest talking point immediately after the race was the crash between Lewis and George Russell, soon we heard about the untelecasted complaint and the radio message from George Russell, and he was purely blaming the deployment, and he had nothing else to say about the crash other than it was a racing incident. This revealed a deeper problem in the Mercedes engines, as George has been saying on multiple occasions that the cars between Kimi and him are not the same. And over the last couple of weeks, Mercedes have claimed to have found the problem and the solution for this massive difference in car performance between Kimi and Russell, and mainly it has come down to the machine learning and the AI systems that deploy power at different parts of the circuit differently. So basically a software is deciding when to harvest and when to deploy. Now this basically takes away entire control of how a car should be driven away from the racing driver. Additionally, this makes the car completely unpredictable and dangerous, especially when there is a massive speed difference between two drivers because the software just decided this is not the right time to deploy. And especially after Spa, a lot of drivers and pundits have slowly started coming out and being critical of the current regulations, which was asked about with Max Verstappen. They mentioned, yeah, now that a lot more drivers are siding with you on this opinion, what are you thinking? And Max did not mince his words. He mentioned that he brought all these points well in advance to discuss about it, but he was dismissed all the time. I think it was Martin Brundle who just asked in the beginning of the season for Max to shut up and drive. Like, that was literally his words. And now it's the same Martin Brundle from Sky Sports who has commented that he had a tear in his eye because the circuits like Spa and Silverstone were not suited for the modern day cars, and it was just depressing for him to watch. Max also added that while without doing anything drivers are overtaking, which might look exciting for the newer fans, the older fans will definitely agree that is not how overtaking works in not just Formula 1 but in motorsport, right? Overtaking is an art. You fight, you battle, you play mind games with the opponent who is in the front and force him to make a mistake, and then you pass, right? In a corner or in a straight line where you get a slipstream, all of that. You don't just go behind the driver in front, press a button and just overtake. He mentioned that the older racing fans know that this is definitely not pure racing. So clearly Spa got on everyone's nerves and we can't do anything about it now. So what is the future? This weekend we have the Hungaroring. So how is it going to be? How is the track like? Let's find out. I've always found Hungaroring very iconic and recognizable because of the track, the shape of the track, which is like a thumbs up, right? Hungaroring has been in the calendar from the late 80s and it will continue to be till 2032 if I'm not wrong, because that's how far the calendar has been updated for Hungaroring, and I think chances are it will get renewed again. This racetrack actually has given a lot of first-time winners. For example, Jenson Button won his first ever GP here. Oscar Piastri as well, I think. Esteban Ocon won his first GP here. And that Esteban Ocon race, we found when the track was shifting from a wet race to dry race, Lewis was the only one in the grid starting off on winters, and which gave rise to this iconic photo where literally everyone had pitted for dry weather tires except for Lewis, who started the race alone in the front. The trophy for Hungarian GP also is very memorable and special. The trophy is manufactured by a company called Heron Porcelain Company. It is actually handcrafted and it takes more than 6 months to make a trophy, which Lando decided to break in less than 5 seconds after the ceremony started. Lando accidentally knocked off Max Verstappen's trophy and it became a huge debacle. So each trophy is worth 40,000 pounds. That is basically in Indian rupees half a crore, right? Imagine within 5 seconds of receiving the trophy, someone breaks it. The track though, thankfully it is not like Spa. It looks hopeful for the current generation cars. Even though we see 4 straight modes on the track, there is only one actual long straight, sector 1. The rest of the track is very similar to a karting track where there are a lot of sweeping fast corners and a mix of slow corners as well, and a couple of long U-turn kind of corners. The lap is also relatively short. You can expect it to be 1 minute and 20 seconds-ish. Track has had the complaint that it has been difficult to overtake, but with this year's regulations, overtaking happening in every part of the circuit, I don't think that will be a problem. Sectors 2 and 3 has a lot of bends and curves and fast and slow speed corners as well. So I think energy management would be easy because there is only one long straight where full deployment, maximum deployment happens, and then towards the end there could be some clipping happening to restore some of the energy. Another fun fact and stat is that in the last 5 Hungarian GPs, nobody who has taken pole has gone on to win the race. And couple it with the fact that there is a lot of first time winners coming out of Hungaroring. Do you think there will be any new first-time winners? Who deserves a first-time win? Let me know in the comments below. And with this track being so different than Spa, a lot of teams are reverting back to their older configurations when it comes to wings and floors and stuff like that. So let's start talking about all the upgrades and updates that teams are bringing in. We are starting off with Aston Martin. Now, Aston Martin is bringing a brand new car, their Spec B car. I would love to list out all the details of the upgrades that they are bringing, but here is the bottom line. They are expecting to reduce the gap by half with the front runners. What I mean by that is they are right now 5 to 6 seconds away from the top, which means in Hungary they are expecting only to be 2 to 3 seconds away from the top. They are basically going to be properly battling with Williams and Cadillac. It could effectively put them in Q2 as well, but we don't know for sure. So let's wait and see how big an improvement that is. As per Mike Crack, who's the technical director there, the upgrades are basically 1/3 of the total upgrades that is planned. So clearly a lot of upgrades are incoming, but if just this one update for the weekend is worth so much in terms of lap time, I am definitely looking forward to what more Aston can bring over the next few races. But Williams, on the other hand, have already finished with most of their promised upgrades in the first half of the season. But what has happened is just the weight reduction has not done anything to the car. They have actually not significantly improved in any measurable way. They are still struggling to get into Q2 and they have the best engine on the grid. So clearly something fundamentally is wrong with their car. Clearly the drivers at some point are going to be frustrated and will look out for an exit option. But again, let's not give up on Williams and James Vowles. This is actually a very profitable company now. A lot of good things have happened to Williams, so let's give them some time during the summer break. When they come back with more upgrades in Baku, we'll know for sure if there is promise in the Williams project at all or not, especially in the current regulations. McLaren is set to debut their fastest flip-over wing innovation, which is basically their way of calling it a Macarena wing, alongside a significant floor update and various other aerodynamic components. Okay, now listen, we have spoken about this multiple times in the previous episodes as well. McLaren are the reigning champions, right? They have the best engine from Mercedes and they know their way around aerodynamic concepts, and that was the reason why last year, even with the ground effect era where Red Bull was dominating so much, they have figured out a way to make the most out of the car, and they are the reigning champions. So I am expecting the reigning champions to be back extremely regularly on the podiums very soon. The biggest upgrade from Mercedes would be the software fix. Russell has mentioned that the calibration error has caused all the numbers to be all wonky for him and the deployment issues and everything. So this issue that has propped up in both British GP and Spa has been fixed for now, and he has mentioned that he is looking forward to the race in Hungaroring. One other thing that needs fixing is Kimi Antonelli. Nothing about his championship mentality but his track limits. The man has been stepping out of the track every now and then. His way of pushing the track limits has come into question lately. A lot of people are talking about it. He takes a lot of wide lines, questionable lines, but I'm sure once this becomes an issue, there will be a fix for it. he will definitely adapt better. But yeah, track limits in Spa has been called into question a lot. With these two things fixed, I think Mercedes are the team to beat for Hungaroring, and the only contender, in my opinion, who is ready to beat Mercedes in Hungaroring is Ferrari. Now, Ferrari, in their endless line of incoming updates, have brought yet another upgrade to their Macarena wing, and this time it is a copy from what McLaren had done. It is a multiple winglet in the middle of the wing kind of a thing. This update is clearly to improve the downforce, and the car is expected to come alive in the second and third sector because that's where all the corners are. And Ferrari, we know, have amazing corner speed, and they were lacking in the straight line speed, so that is also getting fixed with all the ADO upgrades and stuff. So yeah, Ferrari also is definitely a huge challenger for Mercedes, especially this weekend, because there is only one long straight and most of the track is sector 2 and 3, which is a lot of high and medium speed corners. Red Bull are bringing a new rear diffuser. I'm not sure if it is just for testing or a little more permanent, but they are still definitely cautious with the rear wing. The Macarena wing of Red Bull is not back yet. It will take time because they are still figuring out how to make it safe. Chances are we will see that wing again only after the summer break. Before we wrap up this session, there is also one more big update happening when it comes to F1 calendar. With the conflict in Middle East disrupting 2 races already, and Qatar and Abu Dhabi GP still being unsure of happening, Sepang and the Malaysian GP are actually a huge contender in a replacement circuit. The race has reported that there are other circuits that are being considered, like Portimao and Turkey as well. These two are interesting ones, but definitely the Sepang one caught my attention because that circuit actually is unanimously agreed to be one of those circuits that needs to return to the F1 calendar. Everyone unanimously agrees that it is one of the best circuits, and looks like the finale is going to happen at Las Vegas. Now, moving on to the predictions for the week, I am going to be outrageous but practical as usual. I'm not going to predict the most obvious predictions, but something that has a slightly less likelihood of happening but is also possible, plausible, right? Firstly, Aston Martin will be crap with the new upgrades as well. Yeah, mainly I'm trying to reverse jinx them into being good, but again, no hard feelings. But I also don't see a massive one upgrade can bring in that much of a jump that they will go into Q2 all of a sudden. I still don't feel that it will be that good. It's too good to be true. So yeah, Aston Martin will continue to be crap. Second prediction, Ferrari pole. Why? Because it can actually happen. It is not all Kimi Antonelli and Mercedes. Third prediction, Max will be on podium again. I think he will extract the most of what the car has to give. In the last 3 races, he has been on podium twice, and the one race where he crashed out, he actually could have been on the podium as well. So I think he is kind of back, and the car is also definitely behaving a lot better under his hands. Fourth prediction is multiple VSCs and safety car in the race. I just want an interesting race, so this is more of a hope. And the last prediction is both McLarens in the top 5, because I do believe McLarens are also slowly improving, and with their upgrades coming in, maybe not a race win, but I am hoping both of them will be in the top 5. So for all 5 of these predictions to come true, Mercedes need to have a horrible weekend, or Ferrari should have a great qualifying and a horrible weekend. I don't see any of this happening, but I think that's the point of predictions and stuff. You want to be a little more out there and show what's in your heart. So this is what I want to see in this Hungaroring race, okay, Hungarian GP. Thank you for watching, and before I end, I do want to mention a couple of things. The country is in shambles right now everywhere. Please speak up what you have in your mind. You have the right to speak up, so please do speak up. It is not anti-national to demand the government or hold accountability for the government. It is not anti-national to just ask for accountability. People's wellness should always be the first priority of the people in the power, not how they can stay in power, right? And right now there is a lot of systemic changes that is expected with what is going on in India, and I'm looking forward to it. And I am actually proud of the younger generation, the Gen Z, who have been showing up and supporting and carrying the rest of the generation and literally making us proud. So I'm absolutely excited about the future of the country, because things will definitely change going forward. So while we enjoy Formula One as a distraction, let's not forget what is actually important and what truly matters, right? All right, thank you so much for watching. Have a good weekend, and by next video I'll be back in my room. All right, so take care. Peace.